Hey guys, this is Brian with another segment of BAM. So today what I'm going to talk about are social triggers for flow. And what inspired me to actually kind of do this one, not only just because it's part of the 17 triggers, but was watching a lot of Walking Dead. And what made me really, kind of analyze it in a weird way was that they have always been the strongest individuals within the whole entire series that have survived the most. And this is because of the momentum and the constant flow state that they're always in. So flow triggers for social triggers are ways that alter social conditions to produce more group flow. So you can use this for work, with your colleagues, with your friends, with your parents, and this will allow for better communication and a lot more interpretation of how you guys can progress together. So first trigger is going to be serious the first trigger is going to be serious concentration. So we're looking in sports, complete concentration is required because the games move past. You need to be aware of your teammates and your opponents. If they lose focus and start thinking about what's for dinner, they'll basically lose. To create similar flow settings, it can help ensure everyone has their maximum attention here and now, blocked off from other distractions. So a good example of this would be basically Michael Jordan, who would always be in the zone when he played. And basically what he would do was he would push his teammates, whether it was by yelling at them or by inspiring them or by, giving them compliments on their good work. And that way they would basically move at the same pace and momentum. Next is shared and clear goals. Of course, just like basketball or any kind of sports, a championship will be a clear and shared goal. So groups need to have a clear goal of what their collective goal is in order for flow to happen. The key group flow is a balancing act, creating a goal that provides enough focus so team members can tell when they are close to a solution, but one is open enough for creativity to exist. Next, we're looking at good communication. So again, we're looking at examples of teams. You can look at the TV show such as The Walking Dead, right? So good communication is very important. And even while deep listening, the conversation must move forward, right? So it's not about arguing, it's more about agreeing, and you just say, yes, and, right? So kind of like improv. So basically the idea of improv is that they throw you something and you flow with it, right? You kind of roll with it. If you don't, then the momentum is lost and you lose your audience as quickly as, as a snap of a finger. Listening closely to what's being said, accept it and build upon it. Nothing blocks flow more than ignoring or negating a group member. So this is important when you're doing work or being a leader of your group. Familiarity is another thing that you want to take in consideration. So the group has a common language, a shared knowledge base and communication style based on unspoken understandings. So there's social nuances that you will have with your brothers, your best friends that you kind of already understand. So this is kind of like girl code, right? Save me from this guy or something like that, and all I have to do is just roll their eyes and they already know. So it's not even anything that they have to actually articulate, they just have to act and the communication is already there. Kind of like The Walking Dead, because you can't make any sound around zombies because they can hear you. So this means that everyone is on the same page, and when the novel insight arises, momentum is not lost due to the lengthy explanation. So obviously, if you're in a situation where you're about to die, you don't want to explain, you want them to do. Next, we're looking at equal participation and the skill level. So just like any flow, you want to have the same steady flow with the skill sets and the ratio of being able to obtain the goal. So flow is most likely to happen in a group setting when all participants have an equal role in the project. So it doesn't mean that everyone has to have the same skill set, but at least a role that will kind of spread the responsibility equally. For this reason, all members should have similar skill sets. Think of professional athletes playing with amateurs. Professionals will be bored and the amateurs will be frustrated. So obviously, you want to have a good role for them to play. Whether it is them coming off the bench, or whether it is like in The Walking Dead, contributing in a different way, such as cleaning, cooking, going for materials instead of, going out there and killing zombies. Next is going to be the risk. So the potential for failure, innovation, and frequent failure go hand in hand. There's no creativity without failure. And there's no group flow without the risk of failure. So any person that has succeeded will tell you that they've failed many, many times. Michael Jordan once said that he failed thousands of times, taking like 30 shots, missed shots, and he still succeeds because he, tries and tries over again, because he fails and fails over again. And obviously that doesn't do any justice to the actual quote, but the idea is that you have to, try and fail and fall to get up once again. So mental, physical, creative, whatever, the group has to have some skin in the game to produce flow. Next, we're looking at a sense of control. And this combines autonomy, which is basically being free or on your own. Being free to do what you want. And competence, right? So being good at what you do. It's about getting to choose your own challenges and having the necessary skills to surmount them. So you have this ability to know that the decisions that you're going to make are going to allow you to produce the results that you want. Next is going to be close listening. So we talked about the communication, now we're talking about the listening. So we're fully engaged in here and now, again, being present. In conversation, this isn't about thinking about what witty line to say next or what cutting sarcasm came last. Rather, it's generating real-time, unplanned responses to the dialogue as it unfolds. So it's in the moment, and you just have to trust yourself that you're going to say the right thing. And this can be in any situation. It doesn't have to be in sports or anything like that. It can be in a social situation, especially with men that are always trying to find out what to say to women. Innovation is blocked when one or more participants already has preconceived idea of what the person is going to say and how to get the goal. Doing so keeps them from listening to what is really said and working from there. So this happens in sales when people just want to sell and they're not really listening to the customer and their needs. So of course the customer feels like they're being, basically So the customer basically feels like they're being conned instead of, being sold something from someone they trust. So it can be that they buy the product that the salesman has sold them, but they'll have buyer's remorse. And that happens as well with when you're trying to find a partner or trying to meet someone and, you kiss them or sleep with them. Same concept. They'll have buyer's remorse just because they feel like you didn't do it because you understood them as a person. Finally, always say yes. Not to everything, but in this instance for flow, always say yes. Do not resist. So this means interaction should be additive more than argumentative. So just like I said, just like in improv, you say yes, and the goal is momentum, togetherness, and innovation comes from amplifying each other's ideas and actions. So this allows for creativity to flourish. It's a trigger based on the first rule of improv comedy, as I said before. So basically, if you say the wrong response, the momentum is lost and flow is completely cut off. So again, you can use this not only for anything that has to do with not only can you use this for anything that has to do with sports and work, you can also do this in social situations when you're meeting new people. So hopefully this helps. This will be the last segment of the flow triggers. I will elaborate a little bit more on flow and how we can access it, and hopefully this will allow you to prosper in your activities, whether it's professional, educational, or artistic, and your personal lives. Alright guys, so I'm out and about. Let's talk about